Well, welcome back to what I feel like is basketball season. I know we have a lot of excitement with other sports going on right now, but with the start of basketball practice officially, we feel like it's getting a lot closer to this upcoming season for us. So it's great to see you guys back here. I hope you guys feel the energy on campus in a lot of different ways right now. We're excited. I think our team is feeling it. They're looking forward to this upcoming season and the challenges and the opportunities that we have in front of us. They've worked really hard this summer. They've had good practices. I've enjoyed coaching them, and we have a lot of work to do still. We have a long way to go, but we're excited about the journey that we're on.
Kellie, how has this offseason been different, if at all, to prior years?
Well, I think this offseason was different because we had so many new faces. 6 new players reported this summer, and so that's a big number. And I think just working them into our practices and our workouts, it was only different because the number was so large. They've been great. They've come in and had great energy, and looking forward to it.
Kellie, when it comes to the point guards, who's separating themselves between the Jordans, Jasmine, and Brooklyn?
Right now everybody's bringing something, and honestly bringing something a little different. Jordan Walker brings competitiveness and experience, and has really emerged as one of our leaders. Brooklyn Miles brings energy and toughness, and really that selflessness. Jasmine Powell can really score the ball. She's tough, very physical. She is a terrific passer. Jordan Horston can play so many different positions. I almost forgot she can play point. So we're really excited about how Jordan has looked this summer. Physically, she is, in my opinion, the best shape of her life. She looks great out on the court. Kaya Wynn's been playing some point and handling the basketball, and her motor is only on go. And when it's on, she is playing so hard and making a difference. So, in terms of separating themselves, it's a hard question, but they're all bringing something different, and I think that's important.
Coach, how do you deal with the expectations of the season? The ESPN way too early top 25 had you guys at, I think number 4, and many people are expecting you to be preseason top 5. How do you deal with the expectations as you get ready for what's supposed to be a very hype year for you all?
Yeah, I think we talk about it openly as a team. We talk about what is being said, but I think we all understand that's excitement, but it's on paper. We have to go out and do a lot of things. So I think just constant open dialogue with our team, because I don't ever want them feeling outside pressure. It's not about that. It's about, let's be the best we can be today. Because if we are the best we can be today, then everything else will take care of itself. Everything will be just fine if you can dial in and focus on what you're doing in that moment.
With the newbies, how do you get them to understand your culture quickly and buy into what you're selling, I guess?
Yeah, I think culture is constant work. What you stand for, you have to stand for it every day. And also think that you don't get there and check the box and move on. It's something that you have to work on. And I think it's just the message has to be reiterated over and over and over. And that's from everyone in our program. It's the coaches, the managers, the trainers, the players, the teammates. Everyone has to be on the same page, and I think we all are. Those things take time, and I think the really cool thing is all of our new players. They in the recruiting process we explain what that is, and then they get here and they see it. They want to be a part of this. They're excited. That's why they're here.
Kellie, you've got Marsha back this year. How has she grown since we've last year on the court, and is she kind of an underrated, quote-unquote addition to the roster this year?
Yeah, I think sometimes with the new addition, with 6 new players on our roster, you forget about Marta, who didn't play last year, so she almost feels like a new player. But she's, I tell you what, she's had some really good practices here recently, and really good workouts. She's shooting the ball well, and I think her versatility, her ability to play just about any position gives us a lot of options. And I'm happy for her. She's a basketball player. She wants to play. So her sitting on the sidelines has been very difficult for her, and she is chomping at the bit to get back out on the court playing.
What have you seen out of Justine so far? Obviously, she's one of the people here.
Justine is, she is very willing and she is playing hard. I think one of her biggest challenges will be the physicality of the game, which is very common for our incoming freshmen. But she's shooting the ball well. She's picking things up. I think she's got a chance to rebound at a great level because of her size. She's very versatile. We can play her on the wing or the small forward position. And we're really asking her to learn and feel comfortable in a lot of different positions.
Has Jasmine Franklin been able to go full yet, and how do you envision her role as your smallest post?
Yeah, so Jasmine Franklin has rehabbed all summer, and here recently has been full go in practice. I don't think she's 100% herself, but she is still extremely explosive. She finishes so well around the basket. She's experienced. She knows what she's doing. You walk in there, and even though she's one of the smaller post players on our team, she stands out. She's impressive.
Coach.
Going ahead and looking at this year's schedule, how do you go from an exhibition game in Carson Newman to go right into some pretty tough, what could be tough on the road games like Ohio State?
Yeah, I think I love the exhibition games so that our players can put on a jersey and play in front of the lights. I think that's one of the most important things that the exhibitions do for you. And obviously we appreciate Carson Newman coming over here, and they'll be well coached and they're going to play hard. We're excited about getting to that point. But I think the entire build-up, I think we understand that first game is going to be extremely tough for us, and we've got to be ready to go on day one. That doesn't start at your exhibition game. That started this summer, and I think that's the way our players have looked at this. And we remind them when we need a little motivation. We remind them the schedule that we put for them. They've got to be on top of things now. To be successful in those games.
Heard lots of great interviews about Jillian. How big of a role do you expect to have her, and how big impact can she make right away?
Well, I think Jillian, she's going to be able to bring size in addition to Tamari. Jillian's very skilled. Our players love to call her a big guard. She can put the ball on the floor. She can shoot out on the floor. She can post up. Again, you'll hear this recurring theme of this versatility. We have a lot of versatility with this team. Jillian's a big piece of that. I think right now she's getting better every day. Again, understanding the physicality, playing against Tamari in the paint every day, or playing on the perimeter against Sarah Puckett. I mean, she's getting a lot of different looks, and it's really good for her. She's got a chance to be terrific, and I think what we're going to be able to see is just improvement each and every day.
Obviously, it's a different team really every year, but how did you see this team and this program really grow last year, and how do you think you can sort of translate that to this season?
Yeah, I think our team last year really elevated our culture. I think they established it, they set it, and it's a big deal. And I think our players that are returning still bring that, and they still feel that. And again, it's always a work. You're always working on that, building that. But they saw what it can be, and that's important. And then I think that carryover, that competitiveness that our players had, the grit and the toughness, they want to see that again. They want it, not just the coaches, but they want it, and I think that's big steps for us.
Keane Green played a major role in being a leader last year. Obviously, she's off to bigger and better things. So who do you see stepping up into a leadership role this year?
Well, we don't have a Kean Green on this current team. Kean was very mature, a very strong and positive leader that everyone respected and everyone went to. She was an elite mentally. But we have leaders on this team. We have players that are respected. We have players that have the voice. We have players that do the right thing. We have players that are going to lead by example. But it might take more than one person to do all those things, and that's okay. We're going to figure that out. We've got, I think you have natural leaders with Jordan Horston and Tamari Key because of their experience. I think you have a toughness leader because she's been there in a Jordan Walker. And then you're going to have other people emerge, as different leaders for this basketball team. And I think that's going to be important.
Coach, with a lot of the athletic programs around here, men's and women's sports competing for championships, doing well, the fans being excited about some programs specifically being back, what excites you most about the direction Tennessee athletics is heading in?
Oh man, things on campus just feel good. They feel, you feel the excitement, not just with your own team, but for other teams, and honestly, just the university in general. It just feels so good, and there's so much pride. This past week was so amazing, and I kept telling our players about how I was when I was them, when I was a student, and going to football games when I was a student, and how wonderful that was, and they got to experience what I got to experience, in my opinion, this past week. So that in particular was just terrific. But I was at an alumni gala the other day and listened to some former Vols, and not athletes, just students, talk about how much they love this university and how much this university has done for them and meant to them. And I'm just on a high from all this right now. It's just been so good and so exciting. I love this place.
Andrea Carter, I saw that she was talking to you guys and giving you some media tips and everything. What was the thing that you took out of her speech to you guys?
Andrea Carter is amazing, and we've had a chance. She did media training with our players to talk to them about, how to better represent themselves, and I thought some really good tips. But also she was on a panel with all of our Lady Vols last night, all student athletes, and some of the things that she talked about I thought were so relevant for them, and how her transition looked from being a Lady Vol to where she is now, and what lessons she learned as an athlete. And I think it just brings everything full circle when you see this successful person, and she talks about when she was in their shoes. And I think she's done a lot for this athletic department, for this university. She is another person that loves Tennessee, and she took advantage of her time here.
Is there a message for this season that you kind of go to, or that you kind of want players to rally around?
We've had a few, but I think for us, all for one for all. That's been a recurring theme for us, and just kind of strengthen numbers, but the biggest number is one.
Jordan Horsey mentioned that her left hand got a little bit better because of the injury. Would you agree?
I'm telling you, she's looked really good. So I think she had to use her left hand a little bit more there when she wasn't able to practice. She could only do a few things. I do think she probably did work a little bit more and probably did get better with her left hand there. The other thing physically, I know I mentioned it earlier, but physically right now, she's jumping better than she's ever jumped before. And this is somebody that was an unbelievable rebounder last year, but now you watch her, she stands out, and she stands out on a very athletic and impressive basketball team when she's in there jumping and rebounding.
Last year we talked a lot about mental health when she was injured last year, how she's dealing with that mentally. Is there a pep in her step now that she's back on the basketball court?
Yeah, she's been back out practicing quite a bit now, so she feels really good. She's very motivated. She would have loved to have been in our NCAA run last year. There's no doubt about it. So she probably does have a little extra motivation. She wants to be part of something really special.
Last year, before season, you said Jordan Horsey had a really good summer. She ended up having the season she did. Who's standing out this summer to you? Who's had that kind of summer to have a breakout season?
We've had a lot of players play. Jordan's had another good summer. I think she took more steps forward. I think Tamari's had a good summer. Rakia Jackson looks terrific. Sarah's had a good summer. I probably need my roster, to be honest with you. I've just been really proud of them. There's really not anyone that I can say, I don't know if they've done well this summer. I think everybody's taking advantage of the time that they've been given this summer.
Any final questions for Coach? Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Kelly.